All righty. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Midlife Mojo Monday. Thank you so much for joining me. I am Jill Lebofsky, owner of Midlife Mojo and creator of this page, and just here as a support for midlife women 40 and beyond, just to live their best lives, thriving every week here at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time live. I go with just a short topic, anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes, maybe a demo, maybe an interview, on just some topic that I know is important on the hearts of the 40, 50, 60, and about beyond woman. I've been running this group now for a couple of years, and lots of topics have come up over the years that are issues or stressors or things that just women want to learn more about because they don't know. So if you have any topics or any questions that you have, please put them in the comments or message me. And I would love just to do, if I have to do a little research, I will on your topic, just so that I can help you and support you in any way. And for those of you who have, this is your first time seeing me, don't know much about me, just real quickly, I am a 15-year certified health coach. I've been working in women's wellness for all that time, mostly with women 40 and over, because I do live in South Florida and there's a lot of us here. And I also am a certified Pilates instructor. I have been sharing Young Living essential oils for over 6 years. And then, of course, my greatest roles, I've been a wife for 22 years and a mother to a wonderful college freshman son and a 15-year-old daughter, both going a little stir crazy. I don't know about all of you guys. You know, my husband and I, we work from home. We're doing all right. But the kids, I think they're freaking out a little bit. So, hello, Dawn. Thanks for joining me live. I appreciate it. So, anyways, I last week we did our topic and on different ways that we can kind of help our emotional state during this time of quarantine. And I did a raffle. People had to enter by sharing my page with their friends, inviting their friends to my page, and we had quite a few people who did. And I'm very excited and very grateful for that. Thank you so much. And so I have, wasn't sure how I was going to do the whole screen share and do the random.org on my live. I got to practice that one. So I just, before I went on live, I just went onto my random.org and I put in the names of the people and so forth, and in order to do the drawing. And so we got a winner. And oh, darn. I don't know if I just got these ripsticks, these drumsticks for this exercise that I started called Pound. And I have these drumsticks. I should have brought them to do a little drum roll. But anyways, the winner of the, oh yeah, let me show you what it was, just as a reminder. It was a diffuser necklace. That pretty diffuser necklace. It comes with some extra felt pads, all different colors, and the Young Living, I never know where the camera is, Northern Lights Black Spruce. Essential oil, wonderful for just kind of calming and relaxing and so forth. And the winner is Kathleen Mitchell. Woohoo! Thank you, Kathleen, for sharing. I appreciate that. Um, and I've got a long list of things I got to get together and mail. So I'm going to add you to that list, and hopefully in the next week or two, I'll get those out to you, and you'll be able to enjoy that. All right. Oops. Hold on one second. Dropped the pretty little bag it came in. There it goes. All right. So let's get talking a little bit about today's topic. All right. And as you can see, it is easy, natural ways to rev up your engine and boost your metabolism while stuck at home. Right. And we've got a few more weeks minimum of this. So we do want to find ways, any little tricks that we can find to keep our metabolism moving, helping us either maintain or lose our weight if that's what our hope is, but hopefully not gain weight during this time period, right? This was kind of an unplanned time. We just finished like the holidays, barely, and people are just getting back into the groove. And then all of a sudden, this unexpected stay at home, orders that we all have to do really throws a lot of people. So today, my goal is just to give you some quick tips to help rev up your engine a little bit. Hold on just a second. I can feel a tickle on my throat coming. I don't know about you, but like coughing in public like this, I hate doing it. I hate doing it these days. I feel like everybody's looking at me. So anyways, so topic. So how many of you, all right, have you watching hit your late 40s, 50s, and then all of a sudden nothing changed. You were eating the same, exercising the same, but all of a sudden you started to put on weight, right? It just started to pile on and go away. Anybody have that kind of experience? Yeah. So, well, that was definitely me. And I don't know, I'm not going to go into my whole big long story, but that was definitely me. As I've said, I'm a certified health coach. I was very fit. Just recently, actually, on Facebook in the past week, two different pictures came up that really showed me the difference of a year in my life. Actually, three pictures came up. So it was kind of a nice progression. And the first one was in June of 2016. I was closing my Pilates studio, and this picture came up, and I was like, "Dang, I look pretty fit there." And I'm thinking, God, like I know I started intermittent fasting right, soon after that because I wasn't, I had gained 15 pounds and all this, and I was like, well, maybe, it was kind of weird. I was like June of 2016. And so then all of a sudden I look at a picture and it was June of, did I do this? I told you that was June of, sorry, that was June of 2017. Then June of 2018, a picture, or excuse me, it was like September of 2018. I can't remember. It was about less than 6 months later. I'm losing my timeline. I apologize. But it was about 6 months later, and a picture came up, and it was me. I had entered a contest, a speaking contest, and I was wearing like an all black baggy outfit. I remember I had to go buy clothes because my clothes didn't fit for it. I remember just feeling so dumpy being up there in front of all these people where feeling everybody knew because I was always, whenever I entered these contests before, I always felt so proud of how I looked. And at the time, I wasn't feeling that way. And then another fast forward, picture came to just recently, when I had lost my weight on intermittent fasting. So it was really this short period of time, maybe a 9 month period of time for myself, where I think the weight came on relatively quickly. Like with it looked to me within about a 6 month to 8 month period of time, this weight just started to come on. And then it took IF. That was the only thing that worked for me to get it off. IF, intermittent fasting. Um, so what was going on for me during that time, right? If you kind of had the same experience where, all of a sudden you piled on the weight and Dawn said, yes, definitely you, like what was going on for you? We got to kind of think about what's going on in our body. So for myself, I was going through the throes of perimenopause at the time, big time. So I know my hormones were playing a role in what was going on. I know that I had closed my Pilates studio. So although I felt like probably I was doing exercise still, I probably wasn't doing as much exercise. And I wasn't feeling, I was kind of angry and moody and sweaty all the time. So I'm sure that probably at the time looking back killed my motivation a little bit to move my body more. Probably also, as I saw the weight coming on, I wouldn't, I don't really remember. I'm trying to go back and think, but I wouldn't be surprised knowing myself as the weight came on, me probably just kind of, getting a little bit down on myself and probably a little self-sabotaging and eating a little bit more and so forth. So there was a lot of, factors for myself that were going on. But in addition to that, there were things like just the natural aging process. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. But luckily I have been grateful and enough to have done some research and found some things that have helped me. You guys know intermittent fasting, I blast that all over, right? That's been like my savior. It seems to have saved me in my hormonal life, in my weight loss life, my perimenopausal, now I'm menopausal, all of that. So I can't tout it long enough. But let me remove this. Hold on. I always kind of forget to do this. Let me remove that so we can. There we go. Now I can see. I think I'm big on your screen now. I hope I am. So one of the first things that when we start to age, people always talk about this. They talk about their metabolism slowing down. Oh, well, I just got to give up because, I'm getting older and that's just how it is. Your metabolism slows down, right? And it does. It just kind of happens naturally. That's kind of the part of the aging process. And I talk about it a lot in my book, Melt the Midlife Middle. Here, let me pull up just so you can kind of, for those of you who haven't seen it before, pull that up. Plus, as I say, I make these pretty pictures. I got to show them off, and I'm trying to get like more smooth with this new streaming service. I'm excited to kind of start to use it for live webinars and stuff. So I'm trying to learn how to use these graphics on it better. But that's my book, Melt the Midlife Middle, and I talk about this in my book about the metabolism and it's slowing down, and it's kind of to some degree a myth. Although it's true that your body is slowing down, does it have to? No, it absolutely doesn't have to. The reasons for the metabolism slowing down is a decrease in muscle loss, usually because we're being more sedentary. We're not moving as much. You're being less active. As I mentioned, the estrogen loss as we go through menopause, that's going to change things as well. But the thing is, weight loss, muscle loss, it isn't inevitable. All right. In fact, it's actually preventable. I'm going to just read for you something. I was looking through my book before I got on here. And where was it? Page 13 here. All right. So I was reading and it said, I quoted a study, so I just wanted to read it here. A study called Resting with Metabolic Rate in Women showed that when women regularly do some kind of endurance exercise, such as running or swimming, their metabolism is prevented from slowing down with age. When someone works out consistently, they don't necessarily lose muscle mass. It is totally possible to maintain muscle mass if you're taking care of yourself. Now, that muscle mass, that loss of muscle mass is one of our main reasons why our metabolism slows down. So to know that we can do something about it, and we're going to give you some exercises and some things to do in just a bit. So who out there wants to, your midlife years to be active, to be healthy, to be vibrant, to be fun, to be adventuresome, right? I'm setting you up. The answer's got to be yes, 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 right? Everybody does. I mean, I don't think most people want to just, I think we've had enough sitting on the couch. I think we've experienced that. If maybe we thought, any of us out there thought that, oh, if I had nowhere to go and nowhere to be and just could stay home, life would be so wonderful. I think we're discovering, not so true. I'm looking at you, Dawn. Had your last baby? Yeah, a lot of stress, Dawn. Absolutely. Having your last baby at 41, too. I mean, you've got baby hormone type stuff going on, going directly into probably, menopausal stuff. So, yeah, absolutely. Your body, I'm sure, was in, the throes of a lot going on. And it takes time to get back on track. It takes time for our life to settle, to get our mind wrapped around this kind of stress and how to manage it. New baby stuff, all of that kind of things and so forth. And now that your kids are a little bit older, and just trying to kind of, they're older, but they're probably, if you're 41, I don't know how old you are, but I think your kids, I'm assuming, are somewhere in there, I don't know, 10 to 15-year-old, maybe you have somewhere in there. I don't really know how old you are, to be honest, but that's where I'm kind of guessing. I think you're right around my age. But all that's going to make a big difference. So definitely, think about it for yourself. What are some of the factors that may be contributing to your metabolism slowing down? Now, look, a little metabolism 101. Let me put this up here. Hold on. And hold on. Oh, come on. There we go. All righty, there we go. So a little metabolism 101, because I think it's always important to understand the science behind something as well as the practical. You guys know me, that's just kind of how I do things. It's a little bit of both, I think, that are important. For me, I need to know, like, why. If someone's telling me to do something, great, I will listen. I am open, but you got to tell me the facts behind why. I'm just not going to go blindly into something. So I think that's important. But you also have to give me practical solutions, because if I get to the end of listening to a video or reading a book and there's nothing practical for me to do right then and there, that totally annoys me. So here, I do in my videos, all my products that my books, my webinars, all of that, I try to provide like a nice, well-rounded little bit of everything, a little bit, so that you guys can take what you want. And I know everybody learns a little bit differently and things, and implement these things into your life. So first, a little metabolism 101. So metabolism is the process by which your body converts food or drink, things like that, into energy. It's defined as the rate in which your body burns fuel. That fuel, it's burning the fuel, which is the food and the drink. The speed of your metabolism or burn rate is largely affected by 4 factors. All right. So the first one is either called your BMR or your resting metabolic rate, which is basically your breathing, your heart pumping, the basic functions that your body needs to perform to keep you alive and working properly. The BMR, the RMR is the number of calories you burn when the body performs these activities, whether you're at rest or sleeping. It's just whatever the amount of calories that it takes to do those basic functions of life is your BMR. All right. And I talk a lot about the BMR in my book, a little bit more. You guys, Don, I know you have my book. 30 age. I just looked over here. You got kids ages 30 to 11. Yeah, you run the gamut there. You got a whole bunch of stresses with those kind of ages in there. But I know that you're working hard and you do a lot of good things for yourself. So and being on here live, putting yourself in a good mindset, well, being at home is one of them. So kudos to you and everybody else that's watching this on the replay and or live. If I just can't see you, because of my new streaming service, that is a definite possibility. I just really commend you guys for taking a few moments and doing something good for you. So the second factor that goes into your metabolism, first we have that kind of those autonomic reflexive things that the body just does naturally. It's the thermic effect of food. So about 10% of the calories that you burn every day is from the body just doing its normal digestive process, all right? And the food you eat is going to affect that, all right? And then, so foods that are going to stick with you longer, that take longer to digest, are definitely going to be foods that are going to burn more calories. So we're going to talk about that in just a minute. But foods that you burn off quickly are not going to create that thermic effect as well. Then the last two are exercise and then like non-exercise movements. So exercise is like the calories burned through vigorous exercise. So that's like when you're genuinely like out there, at the gym, huffing and puffing, or you're walking vigorously or swimming, you're just doing something to really get your heart rate up a little bit, bicycling, that kind of stuff. And then there's just the everyday activity we do, just the, going through our normal lives, whether it's cleaning our house or, just your regular routine, whatever it may be, going to the grocery store, that kind of stuff. And so our regular routine is a little off right now, right? So our movement is probably down. Now, exercise, we're going to talk about ways we can do this, and non-exercise ways we can start to rev that up a little bit so we can ramp that up a little bit so we can rev up our engines. But also within this non-exercise, like thermogenesis, they call it, this burning, heat burning of the calories being burned, even fidgeting, like just like the things you don't even know, like just the like you're scratching, or maybe you're just moving your fingers or tapping your wiggling your fingers or tapping things you don't even noticing, just the fidgeting, that also is included in that non-exercise movement, as well as standing. Standing activates your muscles, so your body is burning calories. I saw years ago, who was it? I know. Christiane Northrup, Dr. Christiane Northrup. She writes all these books about menopause. And I was watching one of her videos, and she said one of the best things that you can do to prevent aging is like 10 times a day, just sit and stand, sit and stand, sit and stand for like 10 times. If you have to build up to it, then build up to it. But do that, a bunch of times throughout the day. That's the best thing. Standing is another one. All right, hold on one second. I'm outside, and I don't know about you guys, but here in Florida, the pollen, every time I go out there, I can just feel it happening. Oh my goodness. Okay. So let me hide this. There we go. So other things so those are kind of the 4 factors, but other things that affect your metabolism, in addition to those 4 factors, the exercise, the non-exercise, the food burning through digestion, and the autonomic, the basic functions burning, is your age affects it, your height affects it. I thought that was interesting. Your weight affects it. Your muscle mass affects it, and your hormonal factors affect it. So all these things come into play, a lot of stuff. So I want to kind of look at those 4 factors, right, that I just mentioned. 3 of them we can control, right? That first one, that basic breathing and heart stuff, we can't control that. But the food, the exercise, and the non-exercise movement are all things well in quarantine, while we're home, we can control. Exercise and non-exercise make up 10 to 30% of the calories burned, but in active people, it can burn up to 50%. So let's find some ways that we can do that. Give me your your movement level typically, on a scale of 1 to 10, like non-quarantine. What would typically your movement level be, and what has it been over the past week or two since you've had to stay at home and so forth? For most of us, we're not moving as much. I'm not. I know I'm not. I wish I could. I'm not going to lie, probably making some poor food choices. I think like last night when I was screwed up my IF at midnight. I have no idea why. Some cookie had been sitting there for hours. I just popped it into my mouth randomly, had a stomach ache, and then, of course, have to now fast longer today to make up for it. So it just kind of happens, right? Height, yeah, Don, interesting, definitely. So a decrease in movement is typical after 50, and there's many issues, reasons around that. Think about it. Like, what are some reasons why around after age 50 we start to slow down? Besides just the quarantine, can you think of any? I was thinking about it, and like things like, maybe we have some limitations. Maybe, a lot of people in their 50s and 60s, they start to have hip and knee issues. They have neck issues, feet issues. They can't exercise the way they did. Maybe hormones or life just in general, or stress, like you were talking about, Dawn. All those things maybe can just give us some depression or some anxiety. Stress itself can be just a big thing, reason why people shut down and they don't move as much, right? So all of these things, put us at that risk of gaining weight, and then you couple it with us having, being forced, in our house. We really need to do something proactive, at this moment. So, God, what? I'm sorry. Should have. I've been sucking on my stuff here. Like I said, these allergies, I can just feel it in my throat. All right. So where are we? Here are my little notes here, just so I don't repeat myself. Okay. So I got Dawn on here. Dawn, thank you. And tell me, what are some things maybe that you have been doing in your quarantine to keep yourself moving, if you've been doing anything? And if you haven't, that's okay. Maybe just give us some suggestions, but some things that, anybody out there, even on the replay, what are some things that you're doing to stay active during this time? I have these people I watch on Facebook. They're wacky couple anyways. Jenny, I'm talking about you, Jenny Pawlowski. If you're watching this, they crack me up. Like every day, they like go out in their yard and they're so funny. I don't know. They like just do some kind of like dance across like the yard on video, or they just do some kind of like funny thing, but they're getting their body moving. They're doing something active out there, and or they're walking their dogs always, or I don't know, just anything that you can think to do on your quarantine. Give us some suggestions. That would be grateful. And I'm going to give you some in just a second. Because the truth is, if we don't use our muscles, we lose them. And we work hard. If you have been going to the gym and can't go now, it's amazing how hard it is to gain muscle and how quickly it is to lose it. That was the one thing I definitely have seen over the years with myself. It stinks. Definitely stinks. So, more muscle mass is one of the only proven ways to boost your metabolism. So anything we can do, that's one of those ways, is to do that. And, when you have more muscle mass, you're burning more calories at rest than fat does. So another incentive to keep, to pick up some weights or to do something. Dawn saying, clean the horse stalls. Yes, if you've got horse stalls, walking the dog, yard work when it's nice out. Here, I'm lucky we live in Florida, except for today it's pouring. We needed it though. It's been about 3 weeks. But our being out in the yard is a great thing that we can do all the time. So people lose 5 to 10%. This was a quote that I saw. People lose 5 to 10% of muscle each decade after 50, according to the American College of Sports Medicine. So if you do nothing, your metabolic rate will decline every decade 2 to 3%. So that natural aging that I'm talking about, that naturally slows our metabolism, goes by about 2 to 3% every decade, unless we do something to boost it, right? 5 to 10% of our muscle is lost every decade. That's a lot. Our less muscle, less calorie burned, less slower metabolism. We can do something about it. We can use resistance training that will speed up our metabolism and our weight loss. Some things that we can do. Let me click to this here. Here we go. Some quarantine exercise ideas for movement. Some of these, Dawn, you mentioned. But we can, some exercise things, we can lift weights. Maybe some of you already have weights at home, order some on Amazon. If you don't, you can use soup cans, water bottles, if you have any resistance bands, and then hop on. I have so many people I know right now, personally, and just that I see offering online workouts with them live. Or you can go onto YouTube and you can download free videos and watch those and do them along. I just did mine this morning. I was very excited until I saw my husband videotaping me. Not happy about that. Luckily, he doesn't post too much on Facebook. But anyways, those are just some extra, some suggestions that you can do. You really want to start light if you are lifting weights, and then just build up as you go. But that's important. But you want to use and make sure that you're using enough resistance and so forth, so that you're kind of your muscles need to kind of get really stressed so that they can go through a period of repair. And so Qigong and Tai Chi. Yeah, I've always wanted to try both of those. Me and my husband were talking about that recently. You know what? Now that we're home, I'm trying to get him to exercise. Maybe that'll be his lead in. Maybe I'll find some videos. Good idea. All right. So, who thinks that they can add some more movement into their life starting today? Kind of get creative, right? During this time at home. I hope all of you got your wheels spinning and thinking, okay, I can do one thing. I can get off the couch and do one thing, right? We're here for a couple more weeks. We can certainly do a little bit of something. So, switching gears now. So that was like kind of the exercise was one way to boost our metabolism. And the other thing was food. Let me pull this up. Alrighty. So protein, all right. In addition to moving more, food choices are going to be important. One of the factors contributing to metabolism was that thermic effect that food calories burned do during digestion, right? So that our digestive system working properly and working hard to digest, the harder it works to digest, the more calories it's probably burning, right? So it's recommended that older adults increase their protein intake, because takes longer to digest. It's slower. It takes slower to digest. So our body is working harder and longer. So we want to increase our protein. And absorbing too also takes longer to absorb as well. So whether it's meat or tofu, those are better choices, plant-based, or whether it's meat or chicken, fish, any of those are better choices than your carbs, especially your simple carbs, like your cakes and your breads and your white flours, things like that. Those burn off really quickly. You're not really giving your metabolism too much of a boost. Your healthier carbs like your brown rice, your quinoas, maybe a little bit more, but those proteins, definitely. Another reason is it's just at a time when protein is needed for more health and muscle mass. More protein helps build more muscle mass. It's estimated that 1/3 of older adults don't eat enough protein. How much protein would you say you guys eat out there? Tell me. Think about, like, do you eat some kind of protein at every single meal? Would you say you eat 50% of your food is protein, 30%? Just kind of think about what you do on an average basis. And then what you're also think about now is that changed being home. Because, some people I know, it's been difficult to find some meat and so forth, but we can always find proteins in different ways. A 2018 study that followed 3,000 older adults over 23 years found that those who ate the most protein were 30% less likely to become functionally impaired. So, like things like walking, they had less difficulty, like as they got older, walking upstairs, getting up off the floor. As a Pilates instructor, those are like two things I always work on with people. And eating more protein can actually, building that more muscle mass, that can really be helpful. And why protein? Because it prevents wasting away of muscles that happen during normal aging. And you can put on muscle, you can start exercising, you can change your metabolism at any age. Okay, 30 to 40%. Awesome. So you're asking, is it better to eat your protein at the beginning of your IF? I honestly, I tend to eat more, Dawn, if you're talking about intermittent fasting specifically. I always try to sneak in a little bit of protein, because I only eat a couple, 2 meals. So I try to have that protein at both meals. But I definitely have my heavier protein at my later in the day, my later meal, towards the end of my IF, because of that slow digestion. It's going to last longer, and it's going to, while I'm in that fasted state, burn more. And intermittent fasting is already burning a lot of doing a lot of fat burning. It's already working a lot of things. So it's only going to amplify all of that. So it's going to amplify, and it's going to help keep you satisfied longer. So definitely, I would think of, if you're doing intermittent fasting, definitely your proteins definitely towards the end of your day, but make sure you're just getting enough in throughout the day, because you are eating less meals. All right, let me do this. I'll take this graphic down. Put up another one here. All righty. So this is like called BeLive.tv, and I just freaking love it. It's like running my own like TV show. I just like keep thinking to myself, I now need a producer to like do my slides while I talk. One day I will have that, without a doubt, without a doubt. So I also read up and found some other kind of quick boosters to your metabolism besides the food and the exercise that you can do at home while stuck inside. One of them was chew gum, right? It can help with food cravings. Now, if you're doing intermittent fasting, you can't chew gum in your fasting time. But for those of you who are not, you can use your chew gum to help save off your cravings, and that can help burn some calories. A study at University of Rhode Island found that chewing gum three times a day for 20-minute cycles increase your metabolism by 5%. So not a lot, but hey, every little bit helps, right? I mentioned about standing up, right? That's an important one. So maybe a lot of people I know are video chatting with your friends. So maybe stand up while you're video chatting with your friends. Bang for your buck, right? That sounds like good. During the commercials, stand up if you're watching TV and walk around. If you've got Netflix on like loop, then you got to find, maybe in between each show, take a pause and walk around. Things like that. What else do we got? All right, sleep more. Ooh, we can do that during quarantine pretty easily, right? Plenty of time to do that. Studies found that one bad night of sleeping, one bad night, reduced the metabolic rate in the short term, and it may speed up muscle loss. So right now is the time to be catching up on your sleep, ladies. All right, definitely, definitely. Yes, Don, you were doing that more at the beginning. Yeah, just kind of get back to that. We all need reminders. We all need tweaking, for sure. And then the last two are drink more green tea, excuse me, unsweetened green tea, and drink more coffee. So green tea can burn up to an extra 100 calories per day, and coffee raises our metabolism in the short term. Now, I'm not suggesting with your cream in your coffee, because now you've just kind of, made it an unhealthy thing. I'm talking about drinking it black. And so that's important. So when you take these factors that I've been talking about, right, you take into account all those boosters. I talked about standing. I talked about uh, green tea. I talked about coffee. All of these things I mentioned, all these are about, it kind of screams intermittent fasting to me. I mean, Dawn, I don't know about you, but like all the things I'm talking about, we did talk about when in our intermittent fasting melt the midlife middle group, right? Getting our sleep, getting our exercise, choosing, right? We're talking about the proteins, eating more proteins, having during the fasting time only, the things you can have are green tea and black coffee, right? It's really boosting your metabolism. These ways these natural ways, the IF ticks all of the boxes. My book and my program, we talk about these things. The third thing, I talked about in my book was, in there's suggestions for specific kind of exercises and resistant work. So, I mean, intermittent fasting, I just can't say enough about. If you really want to look about natural ways to boost your metabolism, can you do these things separately without intermittent fasting? Absolutely. And get some results? Yes. But why not throw in the fasting with all this and get, and really, really accelerate your results? And during this quarantine time, stay where you want to be, as opposed to a couple of weeks from now behind the 8 ball in terms of your weight loss goals and journey that you set out for yourself just a few weeks ago. It seems crazy. Just a few, like what, 12 weeks ago, so was the first of the year, and we were setting all of our new goals. So let's get back to those. the very act, specific, even besides metabolism, you know that I talk about so many other ways that intermittent fasting has just a tremendous positive effect on our life and on our emotions as well. So those are some ways that, let me kind of get over here. Those are some ways that you guys can boost, you can boost your metabolism at home and so forth. And I want to just switch back here. Hold on one quick second. Haven't quite figured out how to do two things at once yet. There we go. I'm going to put this here. That there. All right. So every single week at the, I really appreciate those of you who stick with me to the end. I'm 36 minutes in. I try to go shorter. I just can't. I babble. I have this nice little outline, and then just I start talking off the top of my head and so forth. But I just have all these juicy tidbits I want to make sure I share with you guys. So, anyways, if you are interested in getting more information about my book, purchasing my book, I am just from now through Sunday. For you guys who stay to the end, you get to learn that I have a 50% off code going on. You can use that code now. You can click on that link, Shorby / midlife mojo, and use that code, and you will get 50% off my book. So it makes it, I think, $7.50 plus shipping and tax and shipping, and so forth. And I think that is it. I am going to send you off with a little exit video that I worked hard on too. I don't have to share all my goodies. But Dawn, once thank you so much for being here live. Thank you for showing up and doing the work too. That's really it, right? I can talk till I'm blue in the face, but if you guys don't take action, then really, that's that. I know my part in my role. I said, and my role is to get you guys motivated, inspired. Hopefully these midlife mojo videos give you a little boost on Mondays to get your week started right. If you're enjoying them, please invite your friends to the group. When these videos are going on, tag your friends in them. Share with me some topics that you'd like me to talk about. And I just hope to try and get a little bit smoother in my delivery as I get this service, work it up and better. But thank you guys so much, and just, be well, stay safe, stay inside. So many things we can do to stay healthy, and just by being inside. And I'm here to help if you need any at all. All right. Let's see. Oops. There we get rid of Jill. Has to be on the camera. Let's see. Oh, I know what the problem is. I'm a silly. All right, I'm getting there. Sorry to practice on you guys, but practice